All right, there's our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. This is going to be WWF Summerslam 2001. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into it. This is the first major pay-per-view in 2001 with the WCW wrestlers, or the bench warmers, if you want to call it, of that
When was the
invasion
invasion pay-per-view?
1 month prior.
Okay, so then
Yeah, it was July of '01. So yeah, this is the first one that they're doing with, the wrestlers again, which is funny because half this card has WWE superstars that were on the roster before WCW invaded. I mean, the six-man tag match alone, they were all WWE wrestlers prior to this. So it's like, okay, you're giving me an invasion card, but I'm still getting the same WWE wrestlers. Just because they defected back over
I know
don't mean garbage.
I know it's like
They,
you look at the Dudleys, like the Dudleys, they were WWF guys at
yeah,
that
even though
point.
they were in ECW, they were
No,
still they were there 2 years.
They were there. They were there 2 years.
And then you got a whack job running and throwing himself into cages and across fucking tables. His old man, former WWF
Yeah.
champion, has got to be, rolling in his grave, like,
Jesus
because his
Christ.
son's a piece of garbage.
All right, let's just get into it. Let's just start.
I got Mecca on my shorts. I don't even know what that means. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, August 19, 2001, from San Jose, California. Raw, JR and Paul Heyman doing the commentary. The buy rate on it was pretty high, mainly because people were dying to see WCW versus WWE. I'm still
The
waiting for that because we didn't get it.
the invasion. I guess eventually we'll probably cover it.
Yeah,
It
we'll
did a
get to
really,
it.
really did high buy rate. I think it did the
Yes, it
highest
did.
buy rate that they. I don't know if it was the highest buy rate they ever had, but it was high. I remember it was high, higher than this.
Yes.
So
This one was 570,000, which the following SummerSlam after this year did 30,000 less than this, and it had Triple H and Shawn Michaels on it, if you
right,
believe
yeah.
that. But let's get into it. Opening matchup of the night for the Intercontinental Championship: Lance Storm defending the title against Edge. I actually enjoyed this match. A
It
lot
was
of people aren't Lance Storm fans
no, he's
because
Mr.
he
Roboto.
had, yeah, exactly. If I could be serious for a moment. Meanwhile, the guy is like Owen Hart. He was the biggest clown in the back, and he can pull this off.
I don't know, he was a good wrestler. He was just boring. His
That was his problem.
character was
Yes.
bland, but he was good. Two Canadians going at it.
Yep. And Edge was just getting the huge pop. Like I said, this match was pretty good and you got the storyline at this point going on where Edge and Christian are. Oh, it looks like they're going on the outs because Christian's
Right.
getting jealous. We
Yeah.
saw that at the King of the Ring. He comes out, accidentally spears
Yeah.
Edge, and then gets super kicked by his future tag team partner for his efforts. And you know, thank God that that didn't cost Edge the match, because he applied the execution on Lance Storm, got the victory, and became the Intercontinental Champion. And of course, Christian's over there hugging him, and Edge is just looking at him like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
I think Lance Storm was the one that started off the invasion. I think he was the one that ran
He
into
was
the
he
ring
was
and
one
did
of
the
the
super
very
kick.
first ones that showed up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then nobody cared. So
Well, they gave him the
Lance
huge
Storm.
pop because it was Lance Storm in
It was like,
WWE.
oh my God. It's great.
Okay, I'm gonna go get a
I
pretzel.
want you to think about that though. Lance Storm is the one who's setting off the invasion. Let's think about that for a second. And that tells you everything you need to know about the invasion.
Seriously, because again, at this point, where are the guys that we truly wanted to see?
Well, they're home getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, Edge is the new Intercontinental Champion. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's great.
Yeah, I know you're not an Edge fan. You documented this. Moving on.
It's great.
At least Jeff Jarrett wasn't on this.
Thank God. Well, remember Vince said that he wasn't bringing him back.
Good.
Remember that?
Yeah. And it's a shame that Bret Hart got fired prior to, or released out of his contract prior to this, because imagine if he was still healthy and he came back leading the invasion. That would have been something new.
I imagine he never would have gotten hurt, but
It is what it is, because a lot of people have been posting, what if as far as him and Kurt Angle, and that to me is an instant 5-star WrestleMania match. Just wish I wish I could have gotten to see that. So in the back, Michael Cole interviewing Test and the Dudley Boys, pretty much on why Test turned his back. He's like, I went to a company that cares. Yeah, okay, whatever.
That was the thing, man. This was so bad because you had people, they didn't have enough talent, so they had WWF guys going over on that side of the alliance with ECW and WCW. So that didn't work. It's trash, right?
It is.
Every time I think about it, it's just
It is. We've said it before. When we do the Invasion pay-per-view,
it's just
whenever we do that, if we wait until July of next year or if we just decide to up and do it, it's going to be totally trashed. There wasn't anything out of that shocked me because we didn't get the 5-on-5 we really needed
crap.
to do. And that was Hogan, Hall, Nash, Sting, and Goldberg. You put those 5 up against the WWF, you got a pay-per-view. So then following that, Lillian Garcia was interviewing Chris Jericho as he was making fun of Stephanie. This was the best part of the invasion.
Hilarious. The captain of the football team.
The chess team, the AV club.
We say the foreign exchange student, something the foreign.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jericho was the man, dude. Jericho was hilarious.
He was. And the other thing that bothered me about the invasion is that they spent the entire summer, the entire time of the title matches being Austin and Angle. Yeah. When it was nobody else. That also aggravated me. There was the one time that RVD, there was a triple threat match because RVD was over there talking shit about him on SmackDown going, bro, I can hold that title and run the alliance. But that was the other thing that agitated me was always them two going at it.
2 WWF guys. Anyway.
Exactly. So now following that, our next match is the Acolytes and Spike Dudley versus the Dudley Boys and Test. They showed 2 weeks ago on SmackDown that Test cost the APA the WWF Tag Team titles. They would get their revenge later on Shane as well. This match was actually pretty entertaining only because, regardless of who the Dudley Boys are standing for, it was still entertaining.
Yeah, no, it was still, yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact they put out the table so something's going to happen. And of course, Spike Dudley eventually tries to go for a Dudley dog, and Test just tosses him like a rag doll into that table. This poor guy.
That was bad. He went flying, man.
Oh my God, 53 years old, and I'm surprised he can still walk. All the stuff that they did to him, and he said, "Do it." All the bumps he took, my God. Again, the match wasn't bad, except Bradshaw hits the clothesline from hell, but there's no referee, obviously. Shane comes out, hits Bradshaw with the chair, and then Test gets the pin. So cheesy win for WCW as they tied it up tonight. Of course, Paul Heyman's all ecstatic, but Dudley's and Test get the victory on this one. Following that, now I love this segment. Edge is getting congratulated by Matt, Nita, a couple others.
Yeah, because they
comes over.
They had the 2 locker rooms. They had the WCW
all the bums,
pretty much.
Kai and Ty.
At least Stacy. At least Stacy was there.
Hardcore Holly next to Big Show, who should have been on the card and wasn't. Big Slow, and then over in WCW, you got the guys you wouldn't even put on Thunder. I mean, it's just pathetic. And of course, Christian, interrupting and saying, "Hey, guess what? I just talked to William Regal. I got a European title shot against Matt Hardy tomorrow night on Raw." And Matt's just looking at him like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. Good luck. Congratulations, Edge."
That European title, which was just garbage.
It was on its way out pretty soon. About another year, they 86'd it.
But of course, do they unify it with the IC title? Is that what happens? I think that's what happens.
Yeah, they started unifying a lot, and I remember Mick Foley saying in an article that the Slammer had put out that with all the titles they brought in, there were way too many title changes that you couldn't keep up. If you missed the Raw and SmackDown, you would miss 3 title changes.
Like rewatching some of this stuff, I forgot about this title change and that title change. You couldn't keep up. They didn't mean it. The titles didn't mean anything. It was like
no, they didn't.
WWF guys having WCW titles. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is.
And then next week somebody else has it.
Yeah,
next week somebody else has it.
It's garbage.
Because what was it? Prior to the Steel Cage Tag Title match, Taker and Kane had just beaten, I believe it was Jindrak and O'Hare for the WCW.
For the WCW titles, yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's just bad.
So, Christian gets the phone call from Grandma, wants to talk to Edge. Congratulations, to Edge.
Yeah,
and then he wants to talk to Grandma, and Grandma hangs up on him. No wonder why he started those temper tantrums. So, and then of course, Sean Stasiak then walking into the locker room and Deborah looking for Austin, and He's like, I wanted to know, get his advice on what I could do to be better. Does he not like the tights? I got Mecca on the back of this. I don't even know what the hell that means. And she's like, go beat up somebody. Meat. Just remember, he's meat. That's what he was originally. The son of a former WWF champion. Go figure. Even though his father had it for 9 days, still, this is bad. And he had a physique. He just needed a normal gimmick. I just like, and I don't know about you, but I saw what they did to Canyon on this too, and I'm like, that's not Canyon. He's not. He doesn't cry in a ring or shit his pants when somebody's coming out. I didn't like that either. Some of these WCW guys, I think, really got punished in their story.
They did. They just got embarrassed,
which is wrong.
They just got embarrassed.
Some of them had.
What's the point of this?
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point of all this?
Like Jim Dragon O'Hare, they had talent.
Right, yeah.
They could have used them. Chronic, maybe. Some of these guys they really could have used going forward, and instead of that, they just shit all over them. And not all of them, but 85% of them. So, in any event, our next match on the card was for the WCW Cruiserweight Title and the WWE Light Heavyweight Title as X-Pac fought Tajiri. At this point, I forgot which side these two guys were on. I don't even remember. I think they were both WWE guys.
I don't know. X-Pac had the WCW belt. I know that.
Yeah. And Tajiri was getting cheered. X-Pac was getting booed because, X Factor, regardless. I think they were both WWE guys.
I don't know. Tajiri wasn't ECW.
I don't remember. They never mentioned it during this. They just said who they had. Every other match they mentioned. Oh, Heyman's like, they're they win one for the Alliance.
Who cares anyway? So.
Now, Tajiri's a talented wrestler.
I know, but I'm just talking about it in terms of the what side somebody's on. It doesn't even matter.
And half the time, some of it changed hands each week anyway. And during this match, and I remember this when I was watching this, they mentioned that this was the last pay-per-view for DirecTV. And I remember throwing shit at the TV, and I was about to call them up. I believe they renewed the contract because obviously I got the next one the following month. So I think after that they renewed the contract.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was probably one of those like negotiation things where it was going down to the wire,
Yeah, it just aggravated me when he mentioned it. Oh, by the way, this is the last time. Otherwise, you got to go to cable. And I'm like, shit, I just got this.
The DirecTV was garbage, dude. I got it because I worked at Blockbuster. That's probably why you got it too.
That's why
every time it would rain, it would go out.
Yes, if it was a high altitude storm, especially here, it was bad. I got it for the nostalgia. It was something new. I got it from my parents who barely used it. And honestly, I was for 24 years, I was a subscriber to them, and they still wouldn't do anything for me because all these new deals, and I'm like, well, can I get that? Oh, it's only for somebody new. What do you do for somebody that's been here since day one?
Nothing.
So after my father passed, I got rid of it. I said, the hell with it. I don't need this.
No, I got to turn my back on you.
Yes. Nice little Paul Sorvino thing in there. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? I saved $230.
Good.
Because the pricing on that was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Got the crazy.
Sling, $50. I'm happy.
There we go.
Any event, we talk. This is more interesting than the match. But by the way, we have a match. Yeah. Albert came down. Go figure. Got on the apron. Tajiri gave him the mist, but unfortunately, Albert distracted him. Worked because then X-Pac hit the X Factor on him. Gets the 1-2-3 pin, and now he's a dual champion. And I thought when they were doing this night, because this is not the first time they had a duel, I thought they were unifying them. No, they were just having the guys carry double belts, and that made no sense. They didn't start unifying until around Survivor Series.
Yeah. Side note that X-Pac, when he was 6-Pac, or 6, was the WCW Cruiserweight Champion. Now he's the WCW Cruiserweight Champion again.
And they get the light heavyweight champion now, which
is a garbage belt.
The one thing I was happy about when I found out, and it never happened, with them buying WCW was, oh, cool, we'll get the Cruiserweight division. It wasn't as stacked as it was 4 years prior, because now you got Evan Courageous and 3 Count and all that nonsense. But I don't know. Again, but the risk of saying it for the 100th time, this could have been so much better. And we go from bad to worse after this because then they did a segment at WWF New York where Saturn is looking for Moppy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He even puts it on a milk cart. Isn't that cute?
His
He
punishment
gives up.
continues.
He gives up. What's her name? I'm drawing a blank here. Marlena, Terry Runnels. There you go. He gives up Terry Runnels for a mop.
He has the box like the
Why
milk
didn't this
carton.
guy just ask for his release and go out with his dignity?
You need a paycheck, man.
That right there to me has got to be on the top 5 of the most degrading things you could ever do to a human being in a storyline of wrestling. Besides all that kiss my ass stuff, this was, again, the guy had the built. You give him the right character. He was good in WCW. He was great in the ECW. One half of the Eliminators.
Oh,
but you
I forgot
come
what
here.
I forgot what he did. He hurt somebody, injured somebody or something like that. Or I forgot what he did. He did something and he got punished after that.
For anybody watching the video, if you remember what Saturn did, comment on the thing.
It was something.
I know we get a few guys that do. We're very appreciative of it. But yeah, let us know if you know, because I don't remember what he did.
I don't remember. I knew it at one point. I just don't remember it off the top of my head.
He started off good in 2000, and then it just went to garbage in 01, going after a freaking mop. I don't know. It's bad. And then, of course, Stephanie and Rhino in the back talking about taking out Jericho, how Jericho's never beaten Rhino.
That was a good feud, though. I thought it was
it really was. And Rhino is another guy that was in WWE before anybody got sold, because he was with Edge and Christian. Because he was the last.
ECW, the last.
I believe he was the last ECW champion.
That's what Heyman said. Yeah, Heyman said that he was the last ECW champion.
Now, I don't know if that's because of his talent or the fact that there was just nobody left there.
I think there was nobody left there at that point.
Because then Justin Credible was champion, and I'm not taking anything away from Rhino.
Either way, the feud was great.
Yeah, it was between Stephanie and Jericho, but then putting them together after all that just didn't make any sense.
That was stupid. Yeah, they had great chemistry as rivals or whatever you want to call them.
And then the next thing they showed was the video package leading to this. God, and he's like, I'm gonna beat that snarling. I'm gonna take out that snarling beast, and then I'll get to you, Rhino.
Yeah, oh God, it was so good.
Trash bag, bottom feeding whore. I'll remember that forever, because this was just awesome. What he could get away with saying to her, and then he was gonna try to make out with her every time during a match.
Jericho at this point, Jericho was awesome. That's why it pained me when they turned him heel later on this year, and it was garbage. It was just with
The Rock.
It was just garbage, man.
It was. He was on fire.
He was on fire.
He should have been facing Austin in one of these pay-per-views for the title.
Yeah.
Because he had a great 2000. 2001 was tremendous, and then they start that rivalry with him and Rock, and then we go to Armageddon where he wins both titles in the same night.
And he's a heel, and he's with Stephanie. It's just bad.
Even when he was a heel, I really didn't like him.
No, I didn't. He wasn't as funny. No,
and he spent most of the rest of his career, even up until when he left in 05, and even when he came back in 09, most of it was just always being a heel.
Yeah. He was only babyface for a little while I remember when he came back, but I thought his second run as a heel was better than the first run. I thought
09.
I think it was 09.
Just remember how he returned. They had the guy on Monday Night Raw with the torch, and he punched him out.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And then shortly after that, he became a heel. I did like his last run with, you just made the list.
Yeah, no, that was great. That he kept reinventing himself. Jericho's phenomenal.
He said he had to, just to like Undertaker, just to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Pudgy Chris Jericho now.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
He's much older now, though. That's not fair.
Well, I will give him the credit. He will go down as the inaugural AEW champion. He did, he still has good matches there. I'm not taking anything away from him. Again, he reinvented himself there, late Le Champion, and all that stuff.
Touch the bubbly.
Yeah, I love that one. So, in any event, we've got Chris Jericho versus Rhino. There was a slight botch in this one. I don't know if you caught that when he was trying to go for the lion salt, and his foot slipped off the rope. but he was able to come back, from that. Stephanie obviously getting involved, Jericho giving her a nice little kiss there. Having him tap Rhino was very impressive, considering Rhino doesn't normally tap out in a submission hold. So when he got the walls of Jericho on him, I was pretty impressed after Rhino missed the gore.
Gore.
He hit the, I love when Heyman did that. And so after he hit the corner, Jericho sees the opportunity, submits Rhino, beats him for the first time ever. Jericho's victorious at SummerSlam. So another win for the WWE. One more for the good guys. We were missing him at this pay-per-view too. I definitely could have loved. I would have loved the Scott Hall there. So now in the back, William Regal is with The Rock, wondering after the beatdown that Booker T gave him is going to impede on his match. He gives a hell of a promo. We got an idiot running into a cage. If I was The Rock, I probably would have bawled out laughing. I'm sure they had to hold that back because this was really stupid. Remember when I said the most degrading things you could do to a person? Well, here's the second one in the same night. So I got something for you tonight. What, Vince? Run into that door.
Does it again later on too.
Yeah, he jumps over the medical table, and The Rock is. I believe it was the Rock. If not, I'll bring it up. It doesn't matter. It's coming up anyway. Next match on the card could have easily been also the main event of the evening, because this was, to me, the best match on the card. For the Hardcore Championship, it was a ladder match between Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam. These two guys stole the show, and when these guys got into the WWE title picture later on, I wanted to see at least one more match of that. But I knew they couldn't duplicate this. But this, to me, was great. Even though we had a botch, Hardy hanging on for dear life, and RVD thinks he's Chuck Norris, and or Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he can get that kick halfway through, the ring to get him.
He missed.
Yep. It would have been better if he tried to do like an edge and spear him.
Right. Yeah.
Or just grab his damn boot.
That was a difficult move to do.
It was.
From that height and everything.
I mean, granted, he tried. But I mean, these guys, RVD climbing the ladder, Jeff goes to the top rope, drop kicks the ladder. RVD before that, on the top rope, he kicks Hardy off the ladder. I mean, these guys just left it all in there. This was a great match, with RVD eventually winning the match because he pushed the ladder down. Jeff hits the rope. RVD climbs the ladder, grabs the belt, and he's the new WWF Hardcore Champion for the Alliance. Honestly, I think RVD would have been better in WWE. I don't even think he had a side. He was just there.
He was with ECW, but he didn't. Yeah. He didn't care. He wasn't too invested.
I think the following month he starts talking garbage to Austin, and Austin's just like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And remember, by this point, Austin already excommunicado to Taz.
When he gave him that beating with and they were whipping him with the belt and everything. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Now here's the other thing I didn't understand. If you had ECW and WCW in this, where are their titles? Why not the ECW championship?
I guess they would just like.
We don't need another tag team, but where's the TV title? Either one of them.
Right.
I think the WCW TV title was retired prior to the 2000s or 2001 season because they weren't defending it, or I don't even know if they had it. But the ECW television title they did have.
They were like, nobody cares.
Like pretty much like now.
Yeah, it's just. So RVD's the only one that came out of. I felt like he came out of the Invasion of Star. He's like the only one. I felt like
he did. Absolutely, he came in like a house of fire.
Oh yeah, right away. You could see right away he was the crowd.
Even in '97, I thought they were going to keep him when they started doing that little invasion with Jerry Lawler, and he started saying he's Mr. Monday Night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. Did they sign him? Nah, it was just a little thing that they were doing. So in the back now, you got Shane and Booker T. Shane giving Booker T a gift, bookends
Yeah.
for the wish list rock bottom that he does. which was I hated when he started doing
The
that.
bookend. I didn't mind. I didn't mind the bookend.
It was bootleg. Come on, it was
It
bootleg
was,
rock
but I
bottom.
didn't. I thought it was okay.
He was better
I always like
with
Booker
what
T.
he had. Oh, I've said it many times. Harlem Heat fan forever, and especially Booker T. I think with the scissor kick and the Harlem Hangover, he was fine. When they started that bookend
The bookend.
shit,
That was just a shot at WWE. That's all it was.
and I didn't like him as a heel when he was the singles competitor because he left WCW when it was done as a fan favorite.
As a fan favorite, and he came in here as a heel. I know. It didn't.
And
he wasn't going to get over.
No, it took a while for him too.
They had to bury him first, and then they're like, all right, you can get over now.
There was no reason to bury anybody, but anyway. But now they're showing the video package after that little moment of Taker, Kane, Page, and Kanyon. Page's obsession with Sarah.
But he's not. But the thing is, he's not even after her. He's after the Undertaker's attention.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't
famous,
right? It wasn't that It wasn't that he was really obsessed with her. He was just trying to get a rise out of the Undertaker, and he's like a peeping Tom now, and he's got a shrine. But this was so bad, bad. You know,
number 3 on the worst things you can do.
You know what DDP said? He said, in hindsight, he regrets it. He says, in hindsight, he should have went into the office and told them no, and said, I'm not going to do this gimmick. And if they were like, oh, well, this is all we have to, then he should have walked away.
Exactly.
He took he actually stay home. Right. He actually took a buyout to come in. He's one of the few. Him and Booker T, they took buyouts. They didn't, so this was.
If you want to do Page and Taker straight up, I'm all for that match. But this,
it should have been Rock versus DDP. It should have been People's Champ versus People's Champ. Taker, I understand. Taker's a big name, but it was bad, man. They ruined DDP. That wasn't DDP.
No.
Every time I watch DDP and WWF, it just pains me because I know how great he was, and he was one of the few guys in WCW that made it there. You know, he was
as late as he started too,
and he was a WCW guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't like, it's not like they took him from WWF and they brought him over there like Hall or Nash or Hogan. Like this guy, like Goldberg, started. That's where he started, you know?
Yeah.
And they ruined him. They shot.
And he was another babyface at the time of the sale that they turned heel.
Right. And
because I believe he was in a tag team, the Insiders, with him and Nash.
Oh, I don't remember at the end. I have no idea, but I wasn't watching. But
they were tag champ. They were feuding with Perfect Event.
Yeah.
Whatever, that whole group run by Mike Sanders.
Well, either way, they set him up for failure. They put him with Kanyon, right?
And of course, Kanyon, they shit the bed with him too because he's coming out here, practically shitting his pants when Taker and Kane come into the cage, and Sarah locks the door.
They get squashed. They just get their asses whipped. Basically, they get a couple spots in there. They get a couple spots in here and there. Kanyon, but. Kanyon escapes. They're like, let him go. And he's like, let him go.
Because now it's a handicap match.
And then Taker drops the chain. They just whip DDP's ass, and that's it.
Then he tells him, "Get out of this ring, leave. If you look at her again, I'll kill you."
Yeah.
And Kane's looking at him like, if he leaves, they're the tag champs. He goes, "No, hold on." Right. Then he choke slams him from the top.
Right. And he gets tagged, and now they unified because Kanyon. Oh. Forgot to mention Kanyon and
he's also the U.S. champion too.
Yeah, is the U.S. That goes to show you the U.S. championship meant nothing at that point. For
the WCW,
so they were the tag team champions. Not anymore because Undertaker and Kane unified.
They beat the Acolytes a couple of weeks ago thanks to Test.
So they just got squashed, and that's the story of DDP and WWF. He just gets squashed. They embarrass him, and it's just pathetic.
The only thing he has going for him, he's undefeated at WrestleMania. He had his one match. Christian,
and then he got his neck broken like a month later, whenever it was, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, it's a shame because I think he could have had a few more years where they could have done something. Opportunity, man. So following this match now, The Rock is again back talking to the medical staff.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I think he doesn't even show up at the end of the invasion, if I remember correctly.
The only thing they did with Page going forward, really, after this, was he wasn't even part of the winner take all of Survivor.
No, he wasn't part of. Think about that.
They put him in the Immunity Battle Royal.
Right, yeah. Like here, go
test one.
Right, and then he's on Sunday Night Heat after that, and then eventually Positive Page and garbage. Anyway, all right, I'm done.
We could be all here all day talking how they crapped on him when he was one of the guy was the hottest thing going in '97 in WCW.
Yeah,
he won the title. Damn it, man. You know, they say you shouldn't mix personal with business, and Vince has said that on numerous occasions. He's a freaking hypocrite because he does this personally.
Right. The whole thing about squashing the WCW guys was personal. It was like
even when Bischoff came
show,
in, he did it to him.
Just to yeah. All right, we'll be it forever on that.
Although I think Bischoff kind of deserved a little bit of that, but still, personal and business, you got to split them apart. He was doing this personally, but whatever. Next match on the card, they showed besides Rock with the medical staff, then we got an idiot running through the thing again.
What's his name again?
Neat. Sean Stasiak. One of the Stasiak. Who gives a shit? It don't matter.
Until you said Meat, I forgot about it. You know that when you brought back the memory of
when he was with PMS. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Hey, Stasiak was Angle's first victim at a pay-per-view, so at least give him credit for that. That's not saying much either. The next video package they showed about Austin and Angle, how Austin, acting like a pussy. Oh, a hug means something. Give me a break, dude.
And this is the second time they turned Austin heel in the same year. It didn't work the first time, so they're like, well, I have an idea. Let's make him a heel again.
That's not going to work for me, brother. Now, granted, they probably did need somebody of his stature to turn on WWF for the invasion.
I understand that, but that's just because they had the lack of star power to begin with, which is why they shouldn't have done the invasion. Which is why
Angle should have been the one to turn.
If you're gonna do it right or don't do it at all.
I don't think Austin should.
Do you know what the irony is? This bullshit ends right in November, right? A Survivor Series. When does the NWO show up?
February.
Right, a couple months later.
Couldn't we drag this out till then? Right. Where they helped the invasion?
Right. All right. Anyway, let's
then Steiner and then Mysterio shows up.
Right.
6 months later.
Yeah. 2000.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Next one. Yeah. And then
was Mysterio's 2003? I think he shows up. Right. I could be wrong on that. But
he fights Kurt Angle at SummerSlam.
It was towards the end. Was it? Yeah. Okay. Well, either way.
They're the opening match of that card.
Okay. And then at the end
Steiner
of November,
shows up.
Steiner's around like Survivor Series 2000.
Survivor Series, he comes out,
but he was shot. He was
beats the shit out of two jabronis.
Yeah. He was over though. He was over. Here's the thing. I don't want to get too sidetracked. All those guys,
this whole thing's sidetracked.
But all of those guys, they initially got really good pops. Like Steiner gets a huge pop. Goldberg will get a huge pop when he comes back.
But
DDP,
the minute Steiner got in the ring with Triple H, the pop went away.
They put the thumb on him. Triple H put the thumb on him. I don't blame Triple H. I give him a lot of shit. I blame Vince because he did it with everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
But I mean, even Steiner in the ring at the Rumble against Triple H, he shit the bed because I was really looking forward to it, and then I'm watching the match going,
well,
is this for real?
He was the thing is Steiner was physically compromised, but I think Triple H didn't do him any favors.
No, he probably buried him.
Right.
Just like Goldberg got buried by Jericho. Everybody remembers Jericho, the way he was in that match with Goldberg, and they were booing the crap out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. By the way, we have a title match.
Right, yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin defending the title, the WWE title, against Kurt Angle. And this match was actually pretty impressive.
It started off good too, though. They started fighting.
He's got those snake eyes looking at him, and we had a little glimpse of the old Austin here, and he's trying to get disqualified. I mean, they took this match everywhere, out in the crowd, and whatnot. I love the fact that all these referees started coming out during this match, and Austin's beating the crap out of them.
Yeah, they're all WWE referees.
The one referee we hate the most.
Right. It's all WWE referees. It's all WWE, and then at the end, it's the WCW referee.
Nick Patrick, the most hated referee ever, does the logical thing in the match. I just don't understand why he started to do the count.
Because he screwed him. That's what it was.
Technically,
no, he did. No. He did.
No, because Austin got disqualified. He hit three referees.
But he should have disqualified him before that. The point was he did that on purpose. The one, and then let me disqualify him. He should have just came out and disqualified him automatically. It's part of the story. The story is he screwed him. I did like how he then Kurt Angle snaps and then throws him a beating. Thank God.
I did. I was also impressed with the 7 straight German suplexes he did to Austin early in the match too. Mm-hmm. That was pretty good.
No, this was a good match though.
Considering the neck and stuff. This match reminded me of an All-American winning by DQ. Reminded me of like Luger and Yokozuna when Luger gets the count-out victory.
Yeah,
only he didn't go Ken Shamrock on everybody. And Angle just, was pissed off. He wins the match by DQ. So we're going to see this match about 7 or 8 more times.
Yeah,
so, unfortunately. Now, following this match, they had a video package leading up to Booker T and The Rock. Rock to Booker T, I love this. Who in the blue hell are you?
But that buried him right there.
It doesn't matter what you bet. Yes.
That buried him right there. That Sting said that was the promo that made him say, I'm not going over there.
I don't blame him. That, and he thought that...
and I love The Rock. I love The Rock. I love The Rock.
Yeah.
But that buried him.
And Sting, who was a preacher at the time, also was afraid that his gimmick was going to get changed by Vince as well. So that's the other, there were the two reasons why he didn't go there. He's probably better off.
Oh, yeah.
Because who knows what they would have done there, especially if The Undertaker fought him. Let's pretty much set it up. The Rock returning, rock bottomed Vince McMahon, announced that he was WWF. I really thought with him coming back, okay, let's do Austin Rock, because unfinished business from WrestleMania, and now they're on opposite sides of the invasion. But instead, they go Rock and Booker T. So Rock is challenging Booker T for the title, and the match itself wasn't bad. Of course, you started with, Rock chasing Shane McMahon all over the place. They took the fight to the crowd, just like the last match. Of course, Booker T distracted the ref. Shane's over there loosening turnbuckles. The good thing about this is Shane didn't become a factor anymore when the APA came out and Bradshaw just clotheslined his head off.
So he came out in what I don't know if it was this match. What was I don't remember the match that he came out with the steel chair and he hit somebody. Was it this match?
That was Shane.
Yeah, I didn't know one of the matches.
Well, the 6-man tag match.
He came out with the chair, right? And
yeah,
he was trying to throw the chair under the ring. He didn't even slide under the ring. The chair.
Yeah, he just threw it. Yeah, that was in the he hit Bradshaw.
Okay. Yeah.
So this was revenge for that. Now, I like when Booker hit. JR says he hit Rock's rock bottom, not the bookend. He hit Rock's rock bottom. Now here's where it got cocky at the end. He hits it, does his spin-a-rooney.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock kicks up, hits him with the rock bottom, and we've got the pin, and you are no longer the five-time WCW champion. And The Rock is now the WCW champion.
Which is stupid because he's a WWF guy. Why is he with the WWF?
Exactly. Like I said, I think it should have been Rock and Austin because of WrestleMania. I think it would have made it save the pay-per-view.
I understand them not wanting to rock Austin again. So I get it. They originally pitched the Stalker idea to Austin, apparently. And
for him to do it?
And Austin said, hell no.
For him to stalk Sarah?
Yeah. So this goes to show you. Deborah
that's
what DDP said. But this goes to show you like how they didn't know what the hell they were doing. So,
no, not really.
This pay-per-view I thought was kind of. I mean, some of the in-ring work is decent. It's not bad in-ring work per se. It's just bad storyline for me. I just think.
I think the best match we saw was RVD Jeff Hardy.
Not even by far.
That best storyline, maybe Austin Angle because of how it went in the ring.
Right, the two of the greats.
The two of them. Yeah, those two.
Even this match wasn't bad. Booker and Rock was not a bad match. It's just the whole invasion crap.
Again, I'm a Booker T fan, and I was pissed because I knew watching this for the first time back then, he's going to lose the title.
He's going to lose. You already knew. So.
But I just thought it was funny how when WCW was about to go off the air and Steiner's the champion at the time, that Vince Chan, okay, well Steiner's not going to come in, so give the title to Booker.
Yeah, no, that's why the title matches went the way they went because they had already set. It was already in place, like who they were bringing versus who they weren't bringing. Yeah, so that was already a known thing. No coincidence.
It would have been cool if they kept it open. If they kept Nitro on a different net, just put just keep it going. As far as WCW goes,
well, we can be there all day talking about the
I know.
Vince wasn't doing that.
No, Vince wanted them out of the picture.
Yeah,
like he said, he enjoyed it. I squashed my competition. No, your wrestlers and your writers. You had some things to do with it.
Not only that, Time Warner destroyed they never wanted wrestling. Once that merge happened, it was the kiss of death. Besides all the writing,
Bischoff had the deal, and then it got shot down. So
anyway, all right. Well, like I said, we'll be here forever. So that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.